reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on. That's not to say that they were necessarily even involved in any of the things that are alleged by the U.S. Attorney's Office. But if you're at that party and it turns out that that's when he set up one of these freak-off sex parties, or that it was going on in another room and you didn't know about it, there's a good chance that you're going to be called by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Diddy is on the brink of a federal crackdown, and now whispers on the street suggest he's ready to drag Jay-Z into the storm next. Starting to look like open season on any celebrity who has ever aligned themselves with him, as the heat spreads and the stakes keep rising.
What I heard is that over the next 18 months, and honestly, when did Diddy start getting exposed? It was in December, or was it January? When did the Diddy stuff pop off? Because I knew about 2 years ago I knew about a year before the Diddy stuff went down that was going down first. Then it's going to be Jay-Z. Excuse me, November? Okay. After the powers that be, the PTB, the industry, whatever you want to call them, once they're done with Diddy, right? And this is going to be going on for some time, but once, I guess you can say, the public humiliation, basically after the major documentaries come out, right? After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
But why Jay-Z? Has he ever truly faced the spotlight for his actions? For years, Jaguar Wright has publicly accused him of serious and disturbing misconduct, shining a light on allegations that many have long ignored.
Said he was going to jail because God told me he was going to jail.
Have you ever been in one of these Diddy parties?
Yes, I have. I sat down with Storm Monroe 4 years ago and said that man was an S, and he was using the business to S traffic young women and men. I said all, but when I pray for something, it always comes true. And I prayed the same prayer for Sean Carter. Y'all better get ready. I knew between the two Seans, go for the weaker one. Go for the knees. And I told Sean Carter, you are so closely tied to Diddy.
But how did he manage it all? How did he accumulate so much dirt on so many people? The answer may lie in the shocking methods he allegedly used, reportedly recording everything that happened at his parties, often without consent, capturing secrets that would later become his most powerful leverage.
Being that he's in there with the feds and all that, you think Diddy gonna start giving up some names?
What are you talking about? He's been giving up names for years.
Okay.
Make no mistake about it, him, Sean Carter and Sean Combs are government informants. There is absolutely no way guys like this, who were the bottoms in their neighborhood, end up on top without government sanctioned help. These aren't the kind of guys that started off super scary. They hung with the super scary guys, but these weren't the kind of guys that started off. See, everybody sees them for who they are now, but you're not imagining who the they were. Who they were before. Before they made their little special deals. Before they started doing all of the things they do. And listen, go back and listen to Gene Deal. There was an evolution from Puffy to the Diddler.
Diddy has been a powerhouse in Hollywood for decades, always surrounded by an A-list circle that includes Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Rick Ross, Usher, and even Justin Bieber. His legendary 50th birthday bash in 2019 at a Beverly Hills mansion brought together stars like Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, Will Ferrell, and Snoop Dogg, a lineup that instantly screamed epic party. But now, with serious legal troubles looming, even his closest friends could be caught in the crossfire. Former prosecutor Nima Rahmani, head of West Coast trial lawyers, told the U.S. Sun that if Diddy's case goes to trial, heavy hitters like Jay-Z could technically be subpoenaed, but don't expect to see them taking the stand anytime soon.
On it right now. He'll be one of the first dudes that they'll probably pull to the side and say, yo, well, you say that your man, I heard you on TMZ say that he never did this and he never did that, but ain't this you? If those pictures or those films or anything like that exist, you know what I'm saying? That's what they pay those agents to do. So, of course, I don't believe that none of the people who are his celebrity friends is going to speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
So you feel like they might be worried that they might be on tape at one of Diddy parties doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
I think that the celebrities that may be worried is because what Lil Rob said. Lil Rob said in his affidavit that Diddy had every room taped and bugged. Diddy had, yo, bro, can you imagine he had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs and little tape recorders, little those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, woman on woman, man on man, all kind of crazy bruh. They just wondering who or when they're gonna let this stuff be known. If it's on videotape.
Yeah, man, I know they gotta be shook, man, after finding out he was recording everything.
But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities gonna be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Hallelujah. That's crazy.
You personally, you think they got tapes?
Well, my personal opinion that if Lil Rob could be trusted and his statements are true, they got him. They got tapes and stuff.
As for Jay-Z, Rahmani explained that if he's only a witness and had no part in the alleged crimes, he could be asked to testify. But if there's any suggestion of involvement, prosecutors would either charge him or simply leave him off the witness list. Courts don't want participants in a crime testifying while getting a free pass. Rahmani noted that Jay-Z and Diddy have a friendship that stretches back to the early 90s, a bond that has remained strong over the years. Earlier this year, tensions surfaced when 50 Cent stirred the pot while working on a documentary about Diddy's legal troubles. After police raided Diddy's home, 50 Cent called out Jay-Z for staying silent, even posting an Instagram joke, a milk carton with Jay-Z's face labeled missing. Classic 50 Cent. According to Rahmani, none of Diddy's celebrity circle are likely to rush to his defense as this legal storm unfolds. The only ones who might stand by him are family and perhaps a handful of close friends. Diddy is in deep trouble, and the path ahead looks increasingly perilous. Deal went on to talk about all the big celebrities he learned this predatory behavior from.
Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Prosecutors are accusing the hip-hop mogul of orchestrating wild, drug-fueled sexual marathons, dubbed freak-offs, involving female victims and male sex workers. These so-called events allegedly stretched on for days. Diddy, who pleaded not guilty, attempted to secure bail by agreeing to strict conditions, including limiting female visitors to his Miami Beach mansion in hopes of strengthening his case. His legal team also proposed a $50 million bail package, offering his Miami property as collateral, along with electronic monitoring and tight visitor restrictions, allowing only family, caretakers, and friends with no ties to the federal investigation. Despite these measures, the court rejected the bid.
It's all because of his mentors and the people that trained him and taught him the music business. You know, it's all about the people who trained and taught him the music business, because Puff wasn't, he wasn't born a monster. You know what I'm saying? He was made into a monster, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was made into a monster from the stuff that happened to him, the things that he had to do. You understand? The things that he had to do to become who he is. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like this, brother. You never like something so much that you can't do without, and you never be willing to do anything to get where you want to be at. You gotta have principles, you gotta have morals, you gotta keep with that stuff. And in that music business, a lot of that stuff get thrown out the window. You understand? And that's what happened to him. He started doing the things to other people that was done to him. To keep it frank, he was doing the things to other people that was done to him. And it is what it is. You gotta know better. And if you know better, you will do better. When he was in New York City, he was like that gecko from the Geico commercial. Then he turned and started going, when he lived in Cali and Miami, he turned into Godzilla. I would see him talk about how he was never like that. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed and everything like that. He turned into something that you could consider a monster, bro.
According to reports, Diddy's team was willing to provide the government with a nightly log of all visitors and agreed to weekly drug testing. These measures were intended to reassure the court and prevent any possibility of him intimidating or contacting witnesses. But prosecutors weren't convinced. They pointed to Diddy's documented history of allegedly intimidating accusers, employees, and witnesses, raising serious doubts about whether restrictions alone could keep him in check.
You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the, they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's gonna make him think that he could get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then. You understand? The things that he was saying, you know, the touchy-feely between two men and all that stuff like that, man. All that, he learned that from them dudes. When I told y'all the story, when me and my man went up to Russell Simmons, and he had a house, and he had a man in bikini drawers in his bedroom, in his bed. You understand? Bruh, this is that he learned. I'm assuming he learned it from them. Let me put that. And I'm not gonna say alleged because I saw that for my own self. My man was with me, Slick was with me, and we saw that for our own self. You understand what I'm saying? So these are behaviors and things that would, and all the stuff that's going on, pills, drinking, it can make this man into a monster, and that's what it did, bro. It made him into a monster, bro.
Prosecutors even referenced freak-off security footage allegedly showing Diddy striking his then-girlfriend, singer Cassie, in a hotel hallway. The indictment paints a chilling picture of how he allegedly leveraged his fame and influence to lure women under the pretense of romance, only to coerce them into participating in these so-called freak-offs. The events were reportedly elaborate, with Diddy directing and recording the performances while observing from the sidelines. Some of these marathons allegedly stretched for days, leaving participants so physically and mentally drained that they required 4 fluids to recover from the extreme exhaustion.
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called Hell on Earth.
Diddy's lawyer Mark Agnifilo insists that all the so-called freak-offs were simply part of his on-again, off-again relationship with singer Cassie, and that nothing about them was coercive. But prosecutors tell a very different story. According to their records, they have already interviewed more than 50 victims and witnesses, and that number is expected to rise as the investigation continues.
Late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee.
When authorities searched Diddy's home earlier this year, they reportedly uncovered videos of the infamous freak-offs and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. The indictment paints a brutal picture, accusing him of choking, shoving, hitting, kicking, and even dragging victims by their hair, leaving them with serious injuries. Shockingly, some of this alleged abuse was directed at one of his exes, singer Misa Hilton, highlighting the extreme and violent nature of the conduct prosecutors are investigating.
Don't want to get no kind of put in their system. But what they don't understand is in the orange juice and it's in the cranberry juice. They didn't put the pills and the stuff in there, the roofies, the ecstasy, the ease, all whatever they put it in the juice. Now, those girls who like the mixed drinks, you understand what I'm saying? They gonna pour their own sexual act because they don't understand it ain't in the bottles, it's in the juice. Those guys, they learn that and they put it to those girls who don't know no better.
Meanwhile, Jay-Z's name is also under intense scrutiny, with troubling claims emerging. Rumors suggest that Beyoncé was allegedly groomed and controlled by him from a young age, with reports claiming he monitored her every move, dictating everything from her wardrobe to her diet. Publicly, the two have said they met when Beyoncé was 18, but some sources allege that the influence, and alleged grooming, began when she was only 16, raising serious questions about the origins of their relationship.
Is back then, these freak-off sessions when you were security? Because I'm looking at this lawsuit, and that's what they would call it, freak-off sessions, when, you know, Cassie, she'll have sex with the male prostitute while he'll masturbate.
Bruh, I can't say that. When I used to see him swing, it was always with him, another dude, and 2 girls. You know what I'm saying? When he was swinging with other people, you know what I'm saying? He always had other girls in the room or another guy in the room, even with his girl Kim, and he was swinging with her. So that freak off things, but him videotaping and everything like that, no, I can't say that I was privy to that. But you knew what was going on, you know, and just in the instant when people got it confused when I said, when he was in the room with Sarah and her girlfriend, and he had Ja Rule and him in the room. Yo, I didn't know they was doing anything freaky until Ja came out and said, yo, y'all didn't want to be in there because there's a lot of freaky things going on. So I guess that was one of those freak-off sections.
According to insiders like Jaguar Wright, who has also made explosive claims about Diddy, Jay-Z is allegedly far more calculated, patient, and methodical, while Diddy is described as reckless. Some claim that Jay-Z even physically abused Beyoncé at one point, until her father intervened. These sources portray him as a behind-the-scenes puppet master, using people, influence, and even substances to maintain control. Now, it appears that Beyoncé is attempting to break free from that grip.
A lot of people didn't even think that Cassie was telling lies, Gene been telling lies, Lil Rob been telling lies, everybody lying on Diddy. But Diddy told the truth. Diddy's the only one told the truth. He said, y'all just keep watching, the truth will soon come out. And you see what came out? My man, he punching that little girl in the head. Yo, you don't even kick a dog, man. You don't even kick a dog, bro. You kicking that little girl like she's a dog, man. It was crazy, man. Any man that has a sister, any man that has a friend that's a girl, any man that has a child, you understand, who saw that, if they wasn't appalled, if they wasn't like, yo, I wanna beat the, you know what I'm saying? We can't say that on television, man, or on the internet or YouTube, but any man who saw that, wish they could put their hands on Diddy at that time, bro. That shit was appalling, bro. It was crazy, man. And when I saw it, I could imagine what Kim went through. I could imagine what Misa went through. You understand? It was just crazy, man, for that dude to do that to that girl like that, man.
I can't believe what I seen, man. I still can't believe what I seen in that video, man. Like, the way he was kicking her was like he was kicking a field goal, man.
Bruh, when I saw him run down first of all, when I saw the white towel, I got flashbacks of him and Ja Rule running out the room. He beat that woman till she was crawling up under a car, man. No matter how small she was crawling up under the car, man. You got to be real scared, man. That's crazy.